Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 164. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another in-depth show for you. But before we get into today's show, I want to wish everybody a happy Labor Day 2017. This show is dropping on Monday, Labor Day, and I hope you all have a blessed and happy Labor Day. Today's show topic, family, is 5 simple steps to position yourself, your product, and or your service for success. 5 simple steps to position yourself, your product, and or your service for success. So, as you know, if you've been a long-time listener of the show, I'm pretty big into e-commerce with my own websites and also selling on Amazon. And in my previous life, I learned how to position myself in my business to become successful. And so what we have to understand as entrepreneurs is it's all about positioning and marketing. You know, there's so many different businesses that do the same thing that your business does. The only thing that differentiates it is your positioning and the way you market your business. So you're actually in the marketing business. I don't care what business you're in the marketing business. And the way you position yourself is going to determine how successful you're going to be. So we're going to go over 5 simple steps to position yourself, your product, and or your business services for success. Okay, now all of these may not apply to you. So if you sell a product, that's one thing. If you sell a service, obviously that's something else. And if you're marketing yourself, that's another thing. So we're going to start off. Number 1, we want to first determine what is a positioning statement and why is it so important. So what is a positioning statement? And a positioning statement is an expression of how a given product, service, or brand fills a particular consumer need in a way that its competitors do not. Positioning statements tell your prospective customers what you, your product, or your service can do for them. I'm going to repeat that. A positioning statement is an expression of how a given product, service, or brand fills a particular consumer need in a way that its competitors do not. Positioning statements tell your prospective customer what you, your product, or service can do for them. So a positioning statement pretty much is telling you what you're going to do for that customer. Remember, it's always about the customer. It's not about you. A lot of people always talk about features. Oh, it has this on it, it has that. It's all about the benefits. What are you going to do for your prospective customer? That's all they care about. They don't care about anything else. So step number 1 in 5 simple steps to positioning yourself, your product, and or your services for success is create your positioning statement. Now, it's really not that hard. And I use a formula which I call the XYZ formula to build a positioning statement. And I'm going to give you an example, and I'm actually going to give you examples all throughout this episode. So, using the XYZ formula for creating a position statement. Here's the formula. We build X for Y to do Z. We build X for Y to do Z. Now that word build could be create, help, or whatever you can interchange. So for example, a positioning statement for me would be we build sales funnels for entrepreneurs to help them create a predictable monthly sales volume. Let me repeat that. We built sales funnels for entrepreneurs to help them create a predictable monthly sales volume. That's the simple XYZ formula to create a positioning statement. So, once again, you can substitute the word build with create, make, whatever it is you do. But that's very simple. We build X for Y to do Z. So, number one, we have to understand what a positioning statement is, which we did. Number two, we just learned how to create a simple positioning statement. You don't want to have a long, drawn-out positioning statement about, this, that, and the other thing, because people don't care. So if you're in an elevator and they, may call it an elevator speech or whatever, this is what we do. This is how you position yourself or your product or your service or your business. And once again, positioning is the key. All right. Step number 2 in 5 simple steps to position yourself, your product, and or your service for success is defining your target audience or audiences, plural. Okay, you may have different solutions or different products for different audiences. So you need to define your target audience or audiences. Who's your target audience? What do they have in common? Where can they be found? So, for example, you may be a business that services both consumers and other businesses. So you're going to have 2 separate audiences that they're going to have different things for each audience. Where can they be found? Your consumer customers may be found one place and your B2B customers may be found somewhere else. So you need to define your target audience or audiences if you have multiple audiences. Step number 3 is craft your marketing plan using the 5 M's of marketing. All right, now we're talking about positioning. And positioning is actually marketing yourself correctly to the right people. So if you go on the website, blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, a pop-up is going to come up about 12 keys, to starting a successful business. And this is actually in the book. It's a 70-page PDF book. You can go on the website. Once you go on and play around for about 2 or 3 seconds, a pop-up is going to come up and you can put your name in there and download the 70-page book. But in the book, I talk about the 5 M's of marketing. And the 5 M's are your message, your market, your medium, your motivation, and measure. And why this is so important and what separates good entrepreneurs from bad entrepreneurs is being able to craft your marketing plan using the 5 M's or something similar to that. So number 1, the message. You must have the right message. If you're not speaking that person's language, that prospective customer's language, you're not going to get through to them. All right, so the message has to make sense. So if you're selling insoles for shoes, you want to talk about feet, how you can help by buying these insoles, and you're trying to make somebody understand and visualize what your product or service will do for them. So number 1 in the 5 M's is you have to have the right message. The second M is market. You must have the right message delivered to the right market, your prospective customers. So if you're sending your message to the wrong market, guess what? It's not going to be successful. Your marketing campaign is not going to be successful. Your business will not be successful. So you have to send that message to the right market. The next M is medium, 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 meaning via the right medium. How does your market receive information? Is it by radio? Is it by TV? Is it online? Is it social media? So if you're selling hearing aids, you may need to go in print in magazines such as AARP or publications that reach out to older Americans that may have hearing problems. So you probably wouldn't be doing any Instagram or Facebook posts for hearing aids, because that's probably not where the medium that the people you need to connect to are going to be on. So you have to understand where your people are and how do you get to them? How do they receive and like to receive information? Number 4 in the 5 M's is the motivation. And what I mean by motivation is what motivates your prospective customers to take action. Okay, just imagine somebody sitting on the couch and they're watching TV. They see an infomercial or something come on. What's going to make them get up, go to the phone, or pick up their cell phone and call? What's going to motivate them? All right, are you solving a problem? Most times people are looking for one or two things. They're either seeking pleasure or they're looking to avoid pain. I want to make more money. That's seeking pleasure. Boy, my bunions are hurting. You know, so they're looking to avoid pain. What can I do to stop these bunions from hurting? All right. Now, you need to convey how your product or service is going to move them from, I always talk about from point A to point B. And if you want to look at it a little differently, point A is hell and point B is heaven. So you want to move people from point A, which is hell, to point B, which is heaven. And you need to let them know that by using your product, your service, or yourself, you can move them from hell to heaven. Like I said, there's only two things that people usually want. They're seeking pleasure or they're looking to avoid pain. So if you can hone in on one or two of those things, either of those things, then you have the right motivation. All right. And think about yourself. What motivates you to purchase something or use a product or service? Think about some of the products or services that you've used. And how did you start using them? Was it a referral? Did one of your buddies tell you about this product or service? Were you watching TV? Did you answer the telephone? Did somebody solicit you? Did you see it online? Was it a Facebook ad? So what's going to motivate you or your customer to take action? And the 5th M is measure. You must always measure your response to see if your concept is working. A lot of times we'll see all types of people that are in business and they don't measure what they're doing. They don't measure what they're doing at all. And so they're spending a lot of money and they don't know where the money is coming from, where they're making a profit from. And what you need to measure for is because you need to cut out the fat and focus on marketing that's working. Okay, and I'm going to give you some examples about personal positioning, product positioning, and service positioning after we go through these 5. Step number 4, and 5 simple steps to position yourself, your product, and or your service for success. You need to develop or create your marketing process using the 5 M's of marketing that I just went through. You need to develop or create your marketing process using the 5 M's of marketing that I just went through. All right, you need to purchase the tools you need to implement that marketing of your product or service. So be it software, if it's a physical product, samples, whatever it is that you need. So you need to have the tools. What tools do you need? List down the tools that you need. So for example, I'm working on a supplement product right now. So one of the tools is I need software, which I'm using ClickFunnels for my product, do my product launch. I'm using ClickFunnels. I'm using Aweber for the email responder on this one. And I know Aweber isn't the greatest if you want to do in-depth stuff, but I'm just testing right now. And so I'm using a person from Fiverr that I got to actually create the images that I've developed, but obviously I'm not a graphic artist. So those are the tools or things that I need to implement what I'm trying to do, to develop or create my marketing process. Make sure you have a list of everything. If you don't have the tools, you're not going to be able to do the job. Just like building a house. If you only had a hammer, not a saw, not a drill, you're not going to be able to build a house. Make sure you have the tools. And step number 5, just repeat the process. Once you hone your marketing and your positioning and it's working and you cut out the fat and you start saying, hey, this is what's working for me, repeat that process. And you repeat it for each audience. Now, remember, you may have multiple audiences. You may have multiple products and or services. So you do it for each audience. And what you want to do is list your audience that you have if you have more than one. And you need to create a positioning statement for each audience. Okay. And it doesn't have to be necessarily vastly different. But if it's a different, like B2B versus consumer related marketing, then obviously it's going to be a little different. But let me give you a little example of personal positioning. Now, in the book I just talked about that you can get on the website, 70 pages, free download, 12 keys to building a successful business. I talk in the book about positioning. It's only a short chapter in positioning, about positioning. But when I was in the mortgage business, at that time, I mean, everybody and their grandmother was in the business. And, you know, a lot of people were making money. So you had to kind of position yourself or differentiate yourself from other people in the profession. So one of the things that I did was that I positioned myself as an expert. And the way I did that was pretty simple. I wrote a book, Mortgages Made Simple for First-Time Home Buyers. I had another version, Mortgages Made Simple for Refinances. Okay, so once again, that's two different audiences. First-time home buyers don't know how to go through the process of getting a mortgage. So they just don't know that yet. Refinancing means that you've already got a mortgage and now you're looking to refinance that your property. So they were same business, but two different audiences. So here's what I did. I used to run TV, online, and print advertising about my free book, Mortgages Made Simple for First-Time Home Buyers. I'm going to stick with that one. What happened was, in that book, I outlined who I was, the successes I had in my business. I outlined the way we did business as a company and how I did business. And so when people read the book, and it wasn't a long book, 52 or 53 pages, they actually were pre-framed to work with me. So once they got the book, I didn't even talk to them about rates. The first thing people are going to ask you in that business is, what are your rates? And I always tell people, it depends on your situation. Everybody's situation is different. What's your credit score? What's your debt to income ratio? What price, your loan to value? What LTV are you going to be able to get based on that information? So one of the things was, what I would do was I'd say, okay, I'm going to send this book out to you. Read through it. I said, you can read it in 2 hours, an hour and a half, 2 hours. And before we start doing business, I need you to read that book. And what that did was two things. Number one, it made people raise their hand. Okay, send me the book. That means they have an interest. Number two, if they read the book, then they would know how I do business, what the process is going to be. So it basically pre-sold them. So when people would see that book with me as the author, picture me in the inside cover, bio, the whole shebang, they were like, well, this dude must know what he's talking about. Now, take that approach versus somebody that's cold calling, or they cold or call them, and all they want to talk about is rates. It's a totally different ballgame. Yes, I may have lost some business to some fast talking salesperson that was able to sell and lock the person up, but that's okay because I want a specific type of person. My dad always used to say, work with the willing. So I'm going to set my system up where I'm going to send my book out. People are going to be pre-framed and have a predisposition to do business with me after they read the book. And when they call me, it's a totally different ballgame. It's not even about what the rate is. It's about, hey, I'm this dude that's going to help you simplify this mortgage process for a first-time home buyer. I'm this dude that's going to help you simplify and get you the best deal on your refinance. You know, once again, two different audiences. So the reason I still got people calling me now to do mortgages, even though I'm out the business, because it's the foundation and it's the positioning that I laid down. So that's an example of personal positioning myself as an expert. Now I'm going to give you a bad way of what not to do. And I talked about this on one of the shows before, and I mentioned it in the book that the PDF book that you guys can download. So I went out to one of the largest financial services companies in the world, with a bank and a brokerage operation. And I'm not going to call the name so I don't get sued. Now, I was looking to get a contract to help train their financial advisors. So I was able to sit in on several days of their intense training program for new financial advisors. And to my, I was astounded, let's put it like this, because one of the techniques that they had was, it was called neighborhood walking. So now remember, as a financial advisor, you're a stockbroker, right? So you're managing people's investments, their retirements, the whole shebang. It's a serious business, all right? Now, their philosophy in one of their key marketing tools was walking neighborhoods. So they said, go find a nice neighborhood, knock on doors, step back 3 feet, and this is exactly what they said. Put your hands, fold your hands, and when the person comes to the door, you'll say, and I'm paraphrasing the script, but, hi, my name is Jay. I'm from blankety blank financial services, new in the area. I'm looking to leave some information. If you're interested in contacting me, please feel free to give me a call. And I'm paraphrasing, but it was something like that. It really didn't matter what they said because they've already positioned themselves as a peddler. Because the thought process to anybody with a little bit of sense, if you're going to let somebody manage your finances, your retirement or whatever, or investments, I want them in the office managing my finances. I don't want them cold calling, knocking on strangers' doors. First thing that tells me is this person doesn't have a whole lot to do because they're out here knocking on doors. Number two, it's a waste of time. You don't even know if the person wants and or needs your services. It's a complete waste of time. You position yourself as a peddler. Now, if you call the doctor, right? Doc, I'm not feeling well. The doctor's not going to be like, okay, when can I call you back? When's a good time for you? A doctor's going to say, or his receptionist or her receptionist is going to say, hey, this is when the doctor can see you. And you make arrangements to see the doctor on his schedule. All right. The doctor doesn't come knocking to the door. Hey, you need a checkup? Not at all. So that is a poor way to position yourself in that industry, or in any way. Knocking on doors is a waste of time. You need to make people raise their hand. So with my book, Mortgages Made Simple for First-Time Homebuyers, I'm speaking specifically to people that are first-time homebuyers. I'm putting the information out there through the right medium with the right message and making people raise their hand. So now I'm talking to people that have a need and or want my services. So that's how you position yourself personally. Okay? Now, product positioning. As I've mentioned on numerous shows, I have a several product lines, several brands of business in the health and beauty aid industry, sports industry, things of that nature. So one of my biggest products was or is a flat iron. And the way I market it, the way I can get $129 for the flat iron is the way I position the flat iron. Okay, the flat iron, number one, the packaging is gorgeous. Cost me a little bit more money, but I need to convey that this is a high-end tool. The packaging, the wording, the website, the way it looks, it's not one of those garbage websites you put up. It's a Shopify site, but it's souped up. So it's a nice looking site. All right. My people who've left reviews. I've got great reviews on the product. Social proof. That's another part of positioning. The logo. The logo helps position also, and we'll get into that in a little bit later. But everything about the product. Okay, so it looks expensive. That's just like, for example, if you go buy, and I used this example before, if you go buy Beats, headphones versus some stuff in a plastic clamshell hanging off the counter. When you open the Beats headphones, it has a book in there. The packaging is more expensive. And that's positioning. That's positioning the product. And so if you're selling a product, You need to position it the way to match your market. So if it's a high-end product, you need to position it as such with a nice packaging, maybe some additional things, some free stuff, but you need to be able to position it. That's product positioning. All right, we talked about personal positioning. Now we just talked about product positioning, service positioning. All right. Stanley Steamer is a carpet cleaning business. Their positioning statement is for a cleaner and healthier home. So what they're inferring is you use Stanley Steamer, you're going to have a cleaner home and a healthier home. And they're one of the largest in the country. It's all about positioning, marketing. Now, I mentioned just a minute ago, even logos can come into play. Now, Volvo, the automobile, they have a new logo. It's a circle with an arrow in it pointing diagonally upward to the right. And that's actually the chemical symbol for iron. Now, Volvo is always known for the best in safety. So you think about something that's steel or something strong, iron. That's part of their positioning statement. Even though it's a logo, it's still part of the statement that it makes to the prospective customer, to the consumer. Best in safety. Volvos are known for best in safety. So the way you position yourself, your product and or your service is going to determine how successful you are. And I don't want you to sleep on this. Like I said, there's people that have product services, or if you're the product, if you're a consultant or whatever, you got to look the part. You got to position yourself as the part. Because people are buying a solution that you provide, that your service provides, or that your product provides. And you need to be able to position yourself for success. So if you have a great product that looks like crap, guess what? You're not going to be as successful. Perfect example. I know somebody that was in the detailing business, and it's very simple to get your guys in nice polo shirts or T-shirts, coordinated, color coordinated, so they know when they come out and do your car, because it was mobile detailing, that, okay, these guys look professional. They're all wearing khaki pants and their blue company shirt. Didn't want to do it. Didn't want to spend a couple of dollars to make your business look good. Didn't want to position yourself as a high-end detailing company. Nah, man. Look, I'm telling you right now, positioning and marketing is what it's about. And I don't care what business, service, or whatever you're in. That's what it's about. Positioning yourself. So, for example, I had somebody ask me, well, why do you, with your flat iron business, and I have several brands of flat iron. So I have a high-end brand and I have a regular brand. And once again, they're two separate audiences. So why are you selling your flat irons for that much? I said, you know what? Because I can. I positioned it to allow me to sell at that price point. So when you sell at a certain price point, people have certain expectations, either good or bad. When you go to Walmart, you know that the expectation is that you're going to have lower prices at Walmart. Normally, because that's what they sell on. And I can't remember what is Walmart's, I forgot what it is. It's something about saving money so you can live better. Oh yeah, Walmart, saving people money so they can live better. That's their positioning statement. So it's about saving people money. So you're not going to go on Walmart and look to purchase a Rolex, because you know they're not going to have that type of product in there. So positioning. Today's show, 5 simple steps to position yourself, your product, and your services for success. And I'm just going to recap. Number 1, create your positioning statement. You can use the simple XYZ formula. We build X for Y to do Z. Number 2, define your target audience or audiences. Okay, just like my flat irons. I have a high-end flat iron that I position differently from my regular costing flat iron. All right, define your target audience or audiences. That's number 2. Number 3, craft your marketing plan using the 5 M's of marketing. The right message to the right market via the right medium with the right motivation and measure. Anything you do, you need to measure it to make sure that you're not spending or expending money on something that's not giving you a return on your investment. Step number 4, develop/create your marketing process using the 5 M's of marketing. And step number 6, repeat the process. So repeat the process to each audience after you've honed it and refined it. So once again, 5 simple steps to position yourself, your product, and or your service for success. So if you're a consultant or a coach, you are the product. If you sell physical or digital products, then obviously that's the product. And if your business or is a service business, you're a pool cleaner, carpet cleaner, whatever, you're in the service business. But it doesn't matter what type of business you're in the marketing business first. First and foremost, you're in the marketing business, and you need to learn and understand how to position yourself for success. Okay, I've talked to and I've worked with businesses and business owners that had no idea what positioning was and how to leverage positioning to increase your profitability, to create more sales, to create the type of client or customer that you want. And I always say garbage in, garbage out. I don't want everybody as a client. Okay, in my digital marketing business, I don't want everybody as a client. I want certain types of people. The reason people take people outside of their avatar for their clients is because they don't have enough of the right clients that they want. And that's all comes down to marketing and positioning. Garbage in, garbage out. You know, in the mortgage business, I used to tell my loan officers, look, you need to deal with a certain person that fits in these parameters, okay? If not, you're going to have a whole bunch of loans in the pipeline that don't get closed and are just getting jammed up. It's like, would you rather, and I used to use this example, would you rather fill a funnel with rocks or would you want to fill a funnel with water? Water, right? Because it's going to flow through smoothly. You got a funnel full of rocks, it's going to get jammed up. Nothing's going to get done. Garbage in, garbage out. Guys, that's today's show. And next week, if all goes well, we're going to have another high-powered guest on the show. But before I close out, I know it's a holiday weekend. This is dropping on Labor Day on Monday. Please continue to spread the word about Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast and the blog. Oh, before I forget, I just started the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint YouTube channel. Only a few videos up right now. I'm just going to put selected videos up from the past, and I'm going to add, new ones as each new episode comes up. I'm going to add those each Monday also. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. You can find the YouTube channel. Just look at it on YouTube. Email me if you need to connect. jjones@blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. That's JAYJONES at blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Facebook, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Twitter, jjones001. And Instagram, jjones4real, the number 4 REAL. Also, every couple of weeks, I'm going to be doing a Throwback Thursday, and we're going to be putting up an old episode of one of our top shows, and we're going to call that Throwback Thursday. We'll probably do it once or twice a month. That way, if you missed the show back in the past, then you can see it coming up. So we have a lot of new listeners coming on, and we're up to show 164, so I know that's a lot of content. Matter of fact, this past Thursday, we just redid show number 100 on Throwback Thursday. We put that on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So every few Thursdays, probably it's going to be once or twice a month, we're going to have a Throwback Thursday show. So definitely, follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, the whole shebang. All right. I love you guys. And I say it each and every week, but it's the truth. Each and every week we have more downloads than we did the previous week. And that's all due to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint family. Please continue to spread the word about the show. We got a lot of good things coming up towards the end of the year. In 2018, we're looking to do some live events, and we're actually looking to do a mini road show. So we're looking to head out to the West Coast, somewhere in the Midwest. And since I'm on the East Coast, we're looking to do a couple of things. Some of the cities that we're looking at is Philly, since I'm here, D.C., New York, Chicago, L.A., and San Diego. So hopefully we'll be doing a little live road show with interviews. We're also going to be bringing on speakers. We're looking to create a Black Entrepreneur Blueprint entrepreneurial forum where we're going to have some of the top entrepreneurs in Black entrepreneurs in specific industries where you're going to be able to dialogue and get information, and not just information, but know-how in terms of creating, launching, and building your businesses. I love you guys. I'll see you same time next week. Peace.